Almost 3 years to the day, I released All the King's Men top 10 AEW wrestlers Triple H could do good things with if he got back, now that he has the reins of control within the WWE. I was recently going over my most viewed videos with a friend, and when I saw this come up, I remembered just how much I thought I could have done it better. I wasn't quite familiar with the editing software, and things got disoriented. And so I thought, hey, it's almost 3 years. Why not look back at the video, re-edit it, re-upload it, commentate on who has returned, who I think maybe would have been better to return, and just overall go over the idea of Triple H, Paul Levesque, getting all his favorite men back into a world where he runs WWE. The original All the King's Men video came out before I was so well structured. So, before this was just a bonus video, if you will. But before this came out, I had talked about my predictions for Death Before Dishonor from Ring of Honor and SummerSlam because they were happening over the same weekend. And so, that is the context for which, and also, if you remember right, this was the return of Io Sky and Dakota Kai, the creation of Damage Control. So the idea of Triple H having fun with his favorites that had been let go when Triple H didn't have power, it was a hot topic, if you will. And so that's why, let's listen to old me. Number 10 is the right hand of the Destroyer, the man that Triple H brought up to Monday Night Raw in his feud with Seth Rollins, that man being Samoa Joe. He was always, Triple H is the he, pronouns pal. Triple H was always a fan of Samoa Joe in NXT, treated him really well. He was the guy that Triple H had in Killer Kross's or Karrion Kross's dominant streak in NXT. So I think the number 10 draft pick, if Triple H could pick up 10 people from, or 10, if he had 10 picks from AEW, I think number 10 could be Samoa Joe. So when it comes to Triple H getting his hands on Samoa Joe, I don't think that Joe actually needs it. And let's be real, I don't think Hunter needs Joe back. So Samoa Joe got in AEW something he never got in WWE, which is that push to the top, that world championship reign. Samoa Joe has done great work in AEW, and I don't think that he would be doing better in WWE or prosper from leaving AEW. Let's see who Old Oz thought would be a good number 9 pickup for Triple H. The new son-in-law of Triple H's idol, Andrade El Idolo, the husband of Charlotte Flair, and the man was, again, treated so well in NXT under the black and gold banner when Triple H was the head of the show. Andrade being back under the banner of Triple H, I think would do nothing but help him out. He and Johnny Gargano, I think, got the first 5-star match in WWE in, I don't know, like 12 years or something. Andrade, it would be a wonderful pickup under the world of Triple H running WWE. It's crazy to me to think that old 3 years ago Oz thought that Andrade would do so much better in WWE than he had done in AEW. Because now granted, this was tainted by the feelings for black and gold era NXT. All-time classic stuff. But now that Andrade is back with Triple H in WWE, the biggest takeaway I have is, well, twofold. One, Roman Reigns' title reign was longer than Andrade's marriage to Charlotte. Ah, that's nuts. And it doesn't matter where Andrade wrestles, whether it be WWE or AEW, he very much needs a mouthpiece, whether it be Zelina Vega, like with NXT, or, I mean, the Ric Flair attempt in AEW, I thought could have worked, but they didn't go anywhere with it, and, like, Andrade just isn't a top guy, whether it be AEW or WWE, clearly.
And number 8 in this top 10 is NXT's Ever-Rise, or the Jericho Appreciation Society's 2.0, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker. They are both very good wrestlers. They're both funny, but can be serious. They were treated well in NXT. That's going to be a reoccurring theme of this here video. 2.0 in AEW or Ever-Rise in NXT. They just can help breathe new life into the nearly non-existent WWE tag team ranks. So,
here's the deal. Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, they all, just like Samoa Joe, they don't need Triple H. They don't need WWE. And Hunter himself has already revitalized the tag team ranks with New Day's heel push, with JD McDonough and Finn Balor working together in Judgment Day. Bringing on the Motor City Machine Guns. My goodness, what a good call that was. It's so astonishing that 3 years ago me thought, oh, these guys would do better, could do better under Triple H. When what I really should have been thinking, saying whatever, is just make tag teams, keep tag teams together, present good tag teams. Like, a lot of people think Montez Ford could be a single star, but Ford and Dawkins together have been a consistently really good tag team. And while I think they could both be good singles, breaking them up seems irrelevant. Maybe just splitting up the guys and not breaking them up is the better call. But the idea that 2.0 or Ever-Rise would do better under Triple H than Tony Khan, ridiculous. What was I thinking? My goodness. And Parker now has a kid with Ruby Soho, so he's winning in life. My goodness.
Number 7, another tag team treated so well in NXT, also did great on the independents, but never got a chance to the main roster, that being Red Dragon, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. If you bring them back under the banner of Triple H, I think that they could thrive, do such great work, and again, help the tag team ranks of WWE.
Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. Two boys, men who don't need Triple H to push them. Bobby Fish, Major League Wrestling. Kyle O'Reilly, Paragon in AEW. Again, this video, my goodness, what a crazy time it was for 3 years ago, Oz, because the concept that these guys needed to be in the Fed to get a push, Like, Kyle O'Reilly had already been world champion in Ring of Honor, so why did crazy me think, oh, let him go to WWE and Triple H to get a push? Nah, man, he don't need it.
The number 6 pick of Triple H drafting from AEW is one of NXT's greatest champions in the history of the show. That man is currently known as Malachi Black, but when he was in NXT, he was Aleister Black. If you bring him back, and I mean, we get his amazing theme song, so yay for that. But, you know, the Black Mass, freaking with Triple H pushing him, I think that he can be 100% a top guy for years to come. So number 6 draft pick is Aleister Black.
Aleister Black has returned to WWE under Triple H, and he got his beautiful, amazing, cool song, got his great entrance, still hits that Black Mass. It's still yet to be determined whether or not he'll be a tip-top guy like he was presented in NXT. I strongly think that SmackDown whenever they draft it up, need to bring that world title over there. Let John and the undisputed championship stay on Raw, because so many guys are really missing out on the opportunity to be treated as a top tier talent, and I think Aleister is one of those fellas who could really benefit from that title run. Thank you for being here at Mr. Super Oz. This video is going out, and this channel only exists because I, Oz, founded Gamble Comics, which first release was Everlasting Survivors, a 68-page graphic novel called All Day Long, available now. Follow the link in the description that will take you to gamblecomics.com. While there, you can get hats, shirts, posters, much, much more, but most importantly, the story itself.
Number 5 in this Triple H pick of talent from AEW is formerly known as Isaiah Swerve Scott, currently known as Swerve Strickland, former NXT North American champion, was called up to SmackDown with all of Hit Row, but was squandered, not used properly. Vince ended up cutting the whole faction. If I was Triple H, or if I could do or pick up people for Triple H, I think bringing all of Hit Row back would be a smart call. But even if you don't bring back Adonis, B-Fab, and Top Dollar, then 100% bring back Swerve Strickland or Swerve Scott in WWE's case. I cannot believe how dumb 3 years ago Oz's thoughts were. Oh, bring back Swerve? Yeah, Triple H wishes he could bring back Swerve Strickland because the man is money. My goodness, the first black AEW World Champion, and more importantly than that, to me at least, is that with or without the title, he is a linchpin character. He is among the pillars of AEW, the legitimate ones, not the predicted and sometimes worked out, sometimes didn't pillars of the company. And it's also interesting because I said, oh, whether you bring back B-Fab and it's Shanti the Adonis and Top Dollar, maybe don't need those, but you do need Swerve Strickland. But the fact is, all but Swerve returned, and it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. B-Fab is lost in the sauce. Shanti Adonis going nowhere, and Top Dollar already released again. Number 4, one of Shawn Michaels, Triple H's best buddies' favorite folks, is Adam Cole, baby. Bring Adam Cole back under the banner of Triple H and just watch the money be printed. Team him back up with Red Dragon. Let the Undisputed Era reign supreme in the WWE. It doesn't matter what show you put him on, Raw, SmackDown. You know, he's done with NXT. He did everything that could be done. Adam Cole back under the guidance of Triple H would be wonderful. So, while yes, I do believe Triple H and Shawn Michaels would do wonderful things with Adam Cole, one thing you cannot book around or be prepared for in bookings are injuries. And so, assuming that because all he did was jump off the ramp and he blew out his knee, and it took forever, multiple surgeries, also concussions, my goodness, and these aren't knocks, these are just bad circumstances. These are just unfortunate events of life. And so, with that, do I think that Adam Cole would have been pushed in WWE under Triple H with the help of Shawn Michaels? 100%. But it's not like Tony Khan is anti-Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole had some of the best segments in the history of the company with Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and he's paired up with two of his best buddies in Roddy Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, now with Paragon. And so I don't think that necessarily Adam Cole needs WWE, and secondarily, I don't think WWE really needs Adam Cole. And so that's such a reoccurring theme. Outside of Aleister and Andrade returning, and one of them, I think, doing better than the other, it's so intriguing to me, the idea that so many of the people on this list that I said, oh, what if they went back? I'm like, they don't really need to go back. And speaking of wonderful and talented, awesome people, let's go a step further beyond all of that. Let's go to Limitless. The Limitless One himself, Keith Lee, being brought back under the guidance, under the banner of Triple H. Keith Lee is the number 3 pick from AEW to WWE. If that could happen, I think it would be wonderful, because Keith Lee was the first man in NXT to hold 2 titles at once, showing just how much Triple H had faith in Keith Lee. And doing that again, or not doing that again, but having Keith Lee back with Triple H as the head of the creative would be wonderful for Keith Lee and for Triple H. I think Keith Lee in a WWE run by Triple H would be a great idea.
Keith Lee has stated he's happy and he's healthy. So my thing is, I don't really particularly care where Keith Lee, if he can, does return to wrestling, whether it be AEW or WWE. I just want it to be the best case scenario for Keith Lee. Because it's easy to imagine a world where Keith Lee is treated well in WWE because Triple H did it in NXT. But in the limited time, funny, that Keith Lee was able to actively wrestle with Tony Khan, he had so many enjoyable moments, and I think it really comes down to his health scares that led to his lack of push in the company. And so, again, I don't care where Keith Lee gets pushed. I just think that Keith Lee, he's one of those guys, he's a modern day version of that unbelievable movement from a big man, whether it be Vader or Bam Bam, Yokozuna, whatever, whomever you want to point to and say, that guy's got agility, size, charisma so much. And so I don't care where Keith Lee gets pushed. It's just, if the man's capable of wrestling again, push Keith Lee.
So my number 2 pick in this top 10 countdown for wrestlers that WWE, AWW run by Triple H would, could, and in this case should pick up is Adrian Neville, currently known as Pac in All Elite Wrestling. He was one of the first people that Triple H, which is Black and Gold NXT, had the faith to put the championship on. One of the first guys that he allowed to have a long run. And Adrian Neville back in WWE run by Triple H would be spectacular for Neville being able to break through the glass ceiling that used to be there.
I don't know, personally, if there's ever going to be a time that Pac gets a bigger push than challenging Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship along with Orange Cassidy, because in AEW, Pac's stature just doesn't seem to be working against him. And while I do know, there's no doubt about it in my mind that Hunter isn't as much mandating size as Vince used to, I still think that he could suffer from that stereotype, if you will, or that tendency from the company. Whereas in AEW, I don't think that height really ever has been an issue. As a matter of fact, I think sometimes large size gets in your way because it feels like, to a degree, they don't really know what to do with larger wrestlers because so much of the talent are light heavyweights, cruiserweight style. So I don't think that Pac actually needs to leave AEW for WWE, or that it would benefit him necessarily. I think I do recall who the number 1 pick 3 years ago was, and let's find out.
And the number 1 draft pick I would have, if I could, in a WWE run by Triple H World, is currently known in AEW as Buddy Matthews, but in WWE would be Buddy Murphy. Bringing Murphy back, 33 years old, jacked as all hell. He's quick, he's powerful, he's strong, he's great. He looks like $1 million. The guy is he is a dude you can really build the company around, a show around. Making Murphy your top guy, I think, would really help set up the company for years to come. He could really be a full-time star, taking the place of, say, a John Cena or the like, that type of character. And imagining a world where, say, on Monday Night Raw, you've got Kevin Owens playing the dastardly heel, Buddy Murphy, who is, your ace player. You've got people like AJ Styles, who, for a few more years has still got it to give. Over on SmackDown, having Sami Zayn, Aleister Black, Adam Cole, Keith Lee, like, these all top tier talents. If Triple H's relationship with his old NXT foundational players, I think a world where Triple H is the main man for WWE is so interesting, so worthwhile.
Let's just lay it all out there. Buddy Matthews in AEW. Still a great wrestler. Still a great look. 3 years later, so he's 36 years old. But don't love the name Buddy Matthews. Didn't love the name Buddy Murphy. But you know what I think could work? What if he returned to WWE as Matthew Murphy? Now, you can acknowledge his past as Murphy, a follower of Seth Rollins, who also was aligned with Austin Theory. Just let the Buddy thing take a back seat. You can even treat it somewhat like they do Pete Dunne and Butch. I wouldn't have him get mad about it, but just let it be a wink and a nod, a little ha-ha, if you will. And so I still stand by the idea that, and I'm going to call him Matthew Murphy, should be a top guy. It doesn't have to be in WWE. It could be in AEW. But in a world where Matthew Murphy comes back to the WWE, away from AEW, and Triple H, with the reins of the company, aligns him with his wife, Rhea Ripley. So, Matthew Murphy, Rhea Ripley, just repeat letters, happy couple, cool, fun. I mean, Chris Van Vliet has had both of them on his show, and they've both said how that Rhea hated Murphy when she first met him, and he said the same thing. And it's like, you can just have the real life chemistry of these people elevate Matthew Murphy up the card into a top tier talent position. Again, not saying he can't do it in AEW. If Tony Khan was to allow Buddy Matthews to be a single star, I'm not going to be mad at it. It's much like that whole Keith Lee argument, or Pac, or whoever. It's like, if you treat a wrestler like they're a star and present them like a star, I'm not going to be mad at it. But I think that Matthew Murphy, Buddy Murphy, whatever you want to call him, could thrive in a Triple H run WWE. And again, especially if you have the world title on SmackDown and the undisputed title on Raw, and and I know that this is going to sound crazy when I say it, but let's go back to the tried and true formula where on Raw you have, and by this I mean Raw on Netflix, just like with Raw on USA Network once was, is we know these people are the people, the show. Like when they did it during the brand split, where Shawn Michaels, Triple H, known commodities, Goldberg, were the top guy. And then on SmackDown, you had the experiments where you could try out different people as a top guy, whether it be JBL being elevated from lower mid-card to the main event, or a guy like a John Cena, who was an unproven test. Well, they tried it out and they said, hey, that works, so we're going to put him over on Raw. That's why I think that when Jey Uso was world champion, he would have been perfect to draft over to SmackDown, especially with those blue side plates on the title. Just put the blue globe in the middle. It's like done and dusted. That world title fits on the blue brand. The all gold belt with the red stripe fits perfectly on Raw, but nobody asked me my opinion. I just put it out there, And so this is All the King's Men. Mr. Super Odds counting down the top 10 wrestlers who could thrive under Triple H. But the fact is, in this revised read-look back version, there aren't that many that I honestly think should go back to WWE, but I do think Murphy's one of them because of his youth, his ability, his ties to his wife, and I mean, also the ties to Aleister Black. The concept of Black being the top guy and then Murphy returning, you can acknowledge without verbally acknowledging their past together in the House of Black. So many options. And I'll say this, if this re-uploaded, redone version gets as many views as the original, I might end up doing a wrestlers that I think could fit in other promotions video more often, such as, what if these 10 wrestlers from WWE went to AEW, or let's say just a mix match move around pieces of the talent pool here and there. But we'll just wait and see how this plays out. But it was fun to look back at my opinion from 3 years ago and see how much I disagree in the now. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy.